Hi, my name is Lance Clark. This is my introduction video for EDL 850. I currently teach at West Dodge Station Elementary in Elkhorn, Nebraska, but I am married and live in Fremont, Nebraska with my wife Lisa, and I've got one very spoiled dog named Oso, two somewhat spoiled cats named Monty and Millie. I'm currently working on my second master's degree. I will finish this degree in December after taking doing my practicum class in the fall. We currently have 4 sons. Jordan is our oldest. He is in the Air Force in Destin, Florida. Austin is 29. He lives in Fort Collins and works for the city of Fort Collins. Trey lives here in Fremont and works for EcoWater. And Gage, our youngest, is a sound engineer and musician, and he lives in Nashville, Tennessee. We also have 2 grandsons, Bentley and Eli. This is my 15th year of teaching. All of them have been in Elkhorn, the Elkhorn Public School District. I taught 4 years in 3rd grade, 5 years in 4th grade, and now this is my 6th year in 5th grade. Our public schools, our district has 3 high schools, 4 middle schools, and 12 elementary schools, which serve over 10,700 students. We have opened 10 new school buildings in the 15 years that I have been teaching. 11 if you count the building that I actually opened when I started teaching. And we are the fastest growing school district in Nebraska. We're now the 5th largest in Nebraska, behind Omaha, Lincoln, Millard, and Papillion-La Vista. As far as the levels of support in the Elkhorn Public School District, our superintendent is Barry Haybrock. That is a paid position. Our associate superintendent is Dr. Cindy Gray, also a paid position. We have an 8-member elected school board that serves as a liaison between the community and the school district, and that is all volunteer. The building administrators are paid positions. That would include the principals, assistant principals, instructional facilitators, and support staff. We have our parent-teacher organizations, which are volunteer in every building. We have the Elkhorn Public Schools Foundation, which is a combination of paid and volunteers. And then we also have the classroom teachers, obviously are paid. And then each school has a lot of parental involvement, which is volunteer status. The Elkhorn Public School mission is to just accommodate the growing student population. We want to offer cultural, educational, and retail advantage of the city, and we want to maintain the high quality of education for all of our students. We want to make it feel like a smaller community, and we really pride ourselves on the achievement of the students and the dedication of the staff. For state leadership, we have the Department of Education. That commissioner is a paid position. We have the Nebraska State Board of Education, which is also the president there is a paid position. And then the Nebraska State Education Association, which is our teachers union, and that president is also a paid position. The Department of Education, their mission is to lead and support the preparation of all Nebraskans for learning, earning, and living. When we talk about the federal level, the United States Department of Education, that Secretary of Education is a paid position, and that is now Dr. Miguel Cardona. The Department of Education's mission is to promote student achievement and preparation for global competitiveness. So by looking at all of the educational mission statements from the different levels, we are definitely, everybody is focusing on student achievement and getting the students all prepared for their future in society. For local government, approximately 40% of the funding is coming from the local level, and that is coming from local sales tax. The school boards can establish local district policy as far as appointing superintendents. They establish curriculum. They hire the personnel, and then they discuss and decide on the areas and expansion projects. As I mentioned, Elkhorn is rapidly growing. And just in the 15 years that I've been a teacher in Elkhorn, we basically have opened a school district with all of the schools that we've opened over that time. From the state government, we get nearly 50% of our funding. Most of the accountability and oversight of public schools comes from the Department of Education. They work on passing laws and establishing standards that need to be taught from all of the public schools in Nebraska. At the federal level, we only get about 8% of the funding from the federal level for our school districts. The Department of Education establishes the policies that we follow. Health and Human Services provides funding and direction for the Head Start program. The Department of Ag provides funding and programs for school lunches. And then obviously Congress passes budgets and establishes legislation to keep school students safe, and it establishes equality and equity for every student. The federal government also makes sure that no student is denied an education based on race, ethnicity, gender, disability, or anything else that is protected. It provides funding for high-need students. Most often that those students are poverty and disability. It gives them access to educational opportunities. It gathers data to help show the scope and quality of education. And then finally, it promotes improvement at lower levels of government to provide, again, funding and some guidance as far as that goes. As far as the level 6 components, the first component is definitely controlled at a local level. It talks about school level governance, which is the individual schools and districts. It talks about supporting each student's learning, so that is, again, more on a needs basis, and it promotes that mission statement and vision of each of the individual schools. For the second component, it would definitely be a state level resource talking about equity and planning that supports school improvement and student development. And then finally, the last component would be controlled on a federal level as it deals with rights, policies, regulations, and implementing laws to help the well-being of students and helping with their success. For educational success, I kind of came up with this on my own. As you look at the different duties of each of the entities, it does allow for each of those departments to focus on specific aspects of education, whether it be at a legislative state, passing laws and policies, all the way down to individual schools and individual student success. Each of those stakeholders, their outcome is based on the reliability of all of those entities to come through and work with each other to make the success as readily available as possible. As far as my connection, the standard correlation that I found was basically just the success of students is the main focus of all three levels of government, whether it be local, state, or federal. The three entities or the three levels need to work together with that purpose in mind so that all students can be successful. The relevance as an educator, it's crucial for me to know the roles and responsibilities of other educational leaders, the different levels and how the different departments can interact with the students' well-being and development as their main focus, and who needs to work with whom when handling the certain issues. As far as a reflection, as I continue my career, I will be more aware of from whom the standards and school decisions are being made and where the laws are coming from, and how to work with the others to be successful. specifically knowing who to contact and work with, depending upon the type of issues that are that develop, and then also just having that familiarity with where different the monies come from to support the schools and support the student needs. Here are my resources. The sources that I used include my school district's website, the Department of Education for Nebraska, the State Education Association, and then also the different resources that were provided, and then also the Department of Education at the federal level. I am looking forward to working with everyone. Again, this is the second law class that I will have taken as far as education goes. However, the first one was a long time ago, so I'm anxious to kind of get back into it and work with everyone in the class. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.